And some of the other events happening in and around our area. Chris Acuff, professor at UTC Political Science. Let's talk about the road to 270. You've been with us now for a few days. I'm sure, I guess to paraphrase Lionel Richie, you're up all night long watching some of these results come in. Still a long way to go to 270. What's your hot take right now on that?
I don't think the landscape has changed too much. I think a lot of this is still going to be contingent upon the Midwest states. So, several states have yet to be called. I think Nevada and Arizona are going to be big. Obviously, Biden's up just a little bit there, but again, in most of these states, there's still a lot to go. I think over the next couple of days, we'll see some of these returns coming back in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Michigan that will really kind of tell the tale. So again, a lot of these were mail-in ballots. They're going to be in heavily Democratic areas probably, and so I think in most cases we anticipate that Biden will sort of creep back in terms of chipping away at President Trump's lead there.
I think one of the key words that we've used in 2020 is unprecedented, but important to note that waiting on results like this is not unprecedented. This has happened several times in our nation's history. I wouldn't say that it's regular, but it's something that does happen.
Right. Yeah. In the grand scope of history, obviously most people remember back to 2000 with the recount in Florida with Bush v. Gore. That wasn't decided on until December. There were several other elections, going back to the 1800s that were decided by the U.S. House and others. Each time something new tends to happen, and we change laws to reflect those changes that come up. But yeah, usually we know the winner, within a day or two, but it doesn't always work out that way. So we'll just see what happens.
Well, let's bring it a little bit more local here as we're talking about the Senate runoff election in Georgia. Candidates needed to reach that 50% mark. Neither candidate did, so they're going to have a special election. Kind of describe what happens next moving forward down there.
Yeah, so in most states you obviously have to get a majority, not just a plurality.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were sort of shocked if you were looking at some of the polls and projections that Reverend Warnock was up.
Yeah.
But you remember that the vote was split between Senator Kelly Loeffler and Representative Collins. Going into January, when they'll have their special election, obviously most of the people who voted for Doug Collins will probably vote for Senator Loeffler since they're more Republican leaning.
Yeah.
But again, in special elections, turnout is obviously the thing that matters. So we'll see a lot of ads, we'll see a lot of campaigning here in Georgia over the next couple of weeks. So we'll have to just wait and see.
Just when you thought those political ads were done, no, you got a couple
Sorry.
more months. We love it, though. We appreciate each and every one of ours. And one more thing that was highly unusual here in the state of Tennessee yesterday is the race for the Benton mayor was taking place. The mayor, who ended up winning the race, died.
Right.
It's a very unusual circumstance. Off the top of your head, I'm not asking you to do a bunch of research, but has this kind of thing happened that you can remember?
To my knowledge, no. I'm sure it has happened before. Everyone was sort of scouring, municipal charters and state law to figure out how to fill this. For our understanding of it, obviously the current council members or the newly elected council members will decide that seat. In a lot of these local cities and municipalities, the mayor is sort of chosen from within the council themselves, so it's not a separate election. So it'll be chosen by the members of the current council or the newly elected council members.
And then one more thing, kind of as we're winding down here, again, today is Wednesday, the day after the election. A lot of confusion, a lot of questions. What do people really need to keep in mind today, moving forward? A couple more days, rest of the week. What do they need to remember?
Yeah, remember that this is our process playing out, right? So, over the next couple of days, as they're counting all the duly cast ballots, they're deciding on which ones to count or not. That's just part of our elections process. Again, elections aren't decided on election night. They're decided over the next weeks as elections are certified, and we make sure that everything lines up and all the duly cast ballots are counted. So, again, have a little patience. I think we'll probably know by the end of the week, barring any court challenges, which again could play out. So we'll see how it goes. All
right, Chris Acuff, professor of political science at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. Honestly, sincerely appreciate your time helping us navigate these waters. We'll hear from you again, I'm sure, in the coming days, weeks, and months. Get familiar with his face, folks. You're going to see it a lot. Up next, the top stories of the day. And then later on the Today Show, the latest analysis and vote totals from across the country on a special edition of Today.